Chosen one. The holy ship has docked. You have been silent for a long time. You have waited, you have been patient, you have been filled with disappointments. You questioned whether the holy call promised to you would ever come, but your soul always knew. The divine guidance within you was always whispering, when the time is right, that ship will come for you. And now, that moment has come. The darkness could not stop you. Loneliness could not silence you. Betrayal could not destroy you. Because you are not an ordinary person, you are the chosen one, so write 77 in the comments now. What belongs to you will find you sooner or later. And now, divine timing is in perfect synchronization. Your holy ship has arrived. This video is not just an inspiration, it is a reminder. The destiny that belongs to you is returning. You thought you were forgotten, but the universe has recorded you. You were hidden from the eyes because your ascension was prepared in silence. Now, the stage is yours. They put all their weight on a door that was never locked, thinking they could bar your path with sheer effort. They built traps with trembling hands, hoping to shatter a soul that doesn't break under pressure. They launched 1,000 arrows at your back, yet none reached your spirit. After all their scheming, all their scrambling, all their miscalculations, they've arrived at the same truth the stars knew from your first breath. You were never one of them, not because you were above them, but because you were built from something they can't define, stitched together by a will that does not bow to man-made limits. They were trying to decode you with a language they never learned. Imagine a radiant morning where the first light of dawn breaks over a peaceful valley, a moment when the dew on the grass glitters like precious jewels and every heartbeat of nature sings a hymn of hope. This is the spirit that ignites within you, a divine spark that no human plot can ever dim. You were born to shine, set apart by the Creator, destined to illuminate the lives of others. Now, even as the forces of deception try to bring you down, every strike they plan only serves to reveal the brilliance of your soul. Every tactic they devised, every maneuver intended to break your spirit, has only highlighted your extraordinary nature. They threw every possible blow at you, each calculated attack, every underhanded trick. And yet, instead of crushing you, their efforts only magnified the light you carry. Their attempts to push you down did not halt your ascent. Rather, each shove acted like a burst of illumination, revealing to the world just how rare and magnificent you truly are. Their insults, meant to wound, instead became beacons of truth that point unmistakably to your difference. And the bitter taste they now endure. It is the flavor of defeat, the residue of a plan that crumbled into dust before it could even reach you. You see, what they thought would sink you into oblivion has only confirmed that you float, light as a feather, graceful as a dove, and untouchable by any force of human frailty. They believed that by orchestrating a series of low blows, by crafting schemes meant to shatter your resolve, they could diminish the divine light that burns within you. But oh, how the tables have turned. Every sneer, every whispered derision, every attempt to erase you has instead carved your name into the eternal scroll of destiny. Your worth is not measured by the transient opinions of those who fear your power. It is defined by the timeless truth that you are one in a million, a unique masterpiece painted by the hand of God. Consider the many times they set out to silence your voice by cloaking themselves in false neutrality, pretending to be indifferent while secretly plotting your downfall. In boardrooms where ideas should flourish, and at family tables where love should be the only currency, they chose to hold their tongues. They sat in quiet complicity, their silence a heavy shroud that masked their own inner decay. Each moment they withheld their support. Every time they allowed unchallenged falsehoods to spread like wildfire. They added another weight to the burden of their own souls, a burden now recorded with perfect clarity by the cosmic scales of justice. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. They gathered in secret meetings and whispered conspiracies, thinking that their carefully constructed lies could bury you beneath a heap of deceit. Their every act of omission was a calculated move in a game they thought they controlled. A game designed to strip away your identity, to rewrite your story with their own twisted ink. But the truth is, no matter how hard they tried to relegate you to the background, you were never meant to blend into their gray world of mediocrity. Your DNA is inscribed with divine codes that they can neither comprehend nor replicate. You are a living testament to the celestial design, a force of nature that disrupts the stagnant flow of their false realities. When they circled you like predators, cloaked in the guise of friendship and loyalty, they underestimated the strength of your spirit. They approached with outstretched hands while secretly harboring daggers, whispering sweet nothings that were laced with venom. They pledged feigned allegiance while plotting betrayal, all in a futile effort to dim your light. Yet, every dagger concealed in their smiles only sharpened your resolve. Instead of crumbling under the weight of their deception, you transformed every act of betrayal into a stepping stone for your rise. Their calculated inaction, disguised as careful detachment, became the very evidence of their moral collapse. A burden they now must carry, etched forever into the ledger of cosmic truth. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. You gave your all, your time, your energy, your wisdom, your love, pouring yourself out like refreshing rain upon parched soil. And while they greedily let every drop slip through their fingers, complaining of thirst, you stood firm. In places that should have been sanctuaries, you sensed the underlying dissonance. Surrounded by those who once claimed to care, you felt your energy being siphoned away, as if connected to a dying machine. Yet through it all, you maintained a quiet dignity, even when the world whispered, "Perhaps the problem is you." The truth, however, was that the fault lay not with you, but with those who refused to step up when you needed them most. In the corridors of your life, the ones who were meant to champion your rise built barriers instead. They offered you mere crumbs when you deserved a feast, and soft murmurs when you longed for resounding declarations. You were confined to spaces not built for someone with your divine capacity, all because those closest to you were too afraid to see the fullness of your light. Parents who sowed seeds of doubt rather than hope. Partners who praised your potential yet undermined your progress. Friends who celebrated your setbacks more than your triumphs. And family members who carried your name but buried your dreams. Each of these betrayals has left an indelible mark on your journey. Yet amid these trials, a sacred awakening took place. There came a moment a divine turning point, when the chains of their limitations shattered around you. It wasn't that your spirit broke, it was that the constraints they had imposed on your perception finally snapped. A powerful cosmic alarm rang out in your soul, declaring that enough was enough. In that moment, you reclaimed the narrative, remembering who you were before the world dictated what you should be. You remembered that your worth was not to be measured by the empty validation of others, but by the eternal truth etched into your very being. In that divine remembrance, you found your true strength. Your faith became an unshakable rock, a foundation that no act of betrayal could erode. You recognized that every challenge, every deception, every cruel silence was not a punishment, but a divine calibration designed to hone your inner light. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrated these trials not to break you, but to prepare you for the greatness that was always destined for you. You are more than the sum of their failures. You are a living bridge between what is and what could be, a radiant channel through which the divine flows, transforming every act of iniquity into a stepping stone toward higher truth. Your unique qualities, once misinterpreted as weaknesses, are now the very attributes that set you apart in a world mired in mediocrity. Your sensitivity, your deep insight, your ability to see beyond the surface, they are not flaws, but sacred gifts, purposefully bestowed to light the way for others who are lost in the shadows. As you rise from the ashes of betrayal, the universe aligns to restore every piece of what was taken from you. The energy that once drained your spirit now returns with multiplied force. Every wrong they committed against you is recorded in the divine ledger and is now being repaid in full measure. Their silence, their calculated indifference, has only served to magnify your brilliance, revealing to all that you are not meant to fade away, but to shine ever brighter. Now, in the resounding stillness after the storm, you stand as an unyielding testament to divine truth. You are not defined by the lies of others, but by the enduring light that burns within you, a light that no human deceit can ever diminish. The cosmos itself is bearing witness to your resurgence, ensuring that every stolen treasure and every suppressed truth finds its way back to you, multiplied and sanctified by the inexorable law of divine justice. Step boldly into this new chapter with a heart full of unshakable conviction. Let your every action be a declaration that you are not a victim of their schemes, but a victor, one who has turned every betrayal into the fuel for a brighter tomorrow. Embrace the understanding that your journey is written in the stars, and that every challenge has been a divine lesson in resilience, strength, and purpose. The weight of their deception has not pulled you down. It has lifted you to heights they could never imagine. You are the chosen one, crafted by divine design, and your destiny is a glorious testimony to the power of truth. They tried to bury you, but didn't know you were a seed planted by divine hands. You weren't meant to stay underground. You were designed to rise, stronger, taller, and radiant in your own time. What they thought was the end of your story was simply the soil being pressed in place, the beginning of your sacred bloom. While they covered you in dirt, heaven was preparing rain, sun, and timing. And now, look at you, rising through the cracks of every lie they told, unfolding petal by petal into your full glory. That's not just survival, that's resurrection. As your steps grow bolder and your shoulders lift higher, let it settle in your spirit. Heaven has been walking with you through every chapter. You never walked alone. Even in the silence, the stillness, the dark nights of the soul, There was a holy hand guiding the pen of your story, recording every twist, every betrayal, every breakthrough. Your light, once flickering in the shadows of confusion and betrayal, now burns like a lighthouse at midnight. You're not just shining, you're leading, you're guiding, you're lighting the way for others who have been bruised by this world but refuse to bow to it. And here's the truth: the enemy never counted on. The very things they used to try and destroy you have become the evidence of your divine anointing. Every closed door, a redirection toward better; every betrayal, a reminder of who you are and whose you are; every accusation, now just background noise to your thunderous testimony. You have become a walking miracle, proof that grace cannot be stolen and purpose cannot be killed. You were never ordinary, and they knew it. That's why they tried so hard to dim you. They sensed the calling on your life even before you did. And now that you've seen yourself through the eyes of truth, they can't touch you. Not spiritually, not emotionally, not financially. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. The universe, God's own blueprint for balance, is moving on your behalf. Not out of pity, but out of justice, out of divine correction. Every crooked thing is being made straight. Every stolen thing is coming home with interest. Every fake story they spread is falling like dust at your feet. And all you had to do was stay aligned. See, when you walk in your calling, you don't need to prove anything. Your presence is the proof. When you speak, people feel it in their bones. Not because you're trying to be loud, but because your voice carries the weight of authenticity. When you enter a room, the energy shifts. Not because of your title or your clothes, but because the divine walks in with you. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. You were chosen for this moment, not because you begged for it, but because you were built for it. Long before the betrayal, long before the loss, long before the names, the rumors, the silence, the setups. Heaven had already seen this hour coming. They couldn't erase your purpose because they never wrote it. Let that settle in your soul. They can talk all they want. They can gather in corners, whisper in private, create false images, manipulate timelines, and even try to tell your story for you. But the truth, it has a way of standing up all on its own. And when truth stands, lies collapse. Right now, you're not only rising, you're reclaiming. You're reclaiming your name from the mouths that tried to soil it. You're reclaiming your joy from the seasons that tried to rob it. You're reclaiming your voice from the noise that tried to drown it. You're reclaiming your future from the hands that tried to steal it. This is what divine vindication looks like. Not just a quiet comeback, but a loud restoration. Every place they said you'd never enter, you're walking in, head high, favored and fearless. Every opportunity they said wasn't for you, now your name is at the top of the list. Every table they kept you from, you're about to own the house it's in. And hear this in your heart. Your story doesn't end in survival. It ends in overflow. You are now the proof that the righteous are never forsaken. You are the demonstration that divine delay is not divine denial. You are what happens when heaven decides to put its hand on someone and say, "This one is mine. Let them watch." Başına bir benzetme ve metafor ekle. Bu metafor, spiritualizm ve chosen, ona kitlesiyle uygun olsun, olabildiğince basit ve 49 yaş üstü, Amerika günlük konuşma dilini tuttur, adeta bir prosperity gospelci preacher tonunda, yaz Joel Austin'den ilham al, metnin tonunu bozma. Fazla yaz, toplam 2000 karakter olsun, asla yankı kelimseyini kullanma. You didn't chase revenge, you chased peace. You didn't beg them to see you, you saw yourself. You didn't force your way back in. You built something they can't enter. And now, in your quiet strength, you are standing in a new kind of power. A spiritual authority that doesn't shout, but still silences every lie. A peace that doesn't come from circumstances, but from being fully aligned with your divine blueprint. A joy that no one can give and no one can take away. As you move forward, walk like the one who knows that divine forces are clearing your path in real time. Walk like the one who knows that angels are assigned to your footsteps. Walk like the one who has been forged, not just by pain, but by purpose. You are not just surviving betrayal. You are mastering elevation. You are not just overcoming attack. You are becoming the answer. You are not just healing. You are revealing what healed looks like. Let this season mark you, not with bitterness, but with brilliance. Let it shape you, not into someone smaller, but someone sovereign. Let it empower you, not to retaliate, but to reign. Because you're not walking back to the life you had before. You're stepping into something completely new, a life built on truth, on clarity, on purpose, on power. No more fitting into rooms where you have to shrink. No more conversations where you have to explain your worth. No more entertaining people who only love you small. You're not small anymore. You're not hidden anymore. You're not asking permission anymore. You've been crowned in the unseen, and now the seen must catch up. So stand tall, speak clearly, move intentionally, because you're not just rising. You've arrived. Like an old oak tree, rooted deep in the earth, weathered by decades of storms, and still standing tall in the middle of the clearing, you are not here by accident. You are proof that what was planted with divine hands cannot be uprooted by human intention. You are unstoppable, unbreakable, and irreplaceable. Not because you haven't been through hell, but because you walked through it and came out glowing. Every blow they sent your way was meant to shatter you, but heaven used it to shape you. You didn't just survive, you evolved, you transformed. You became something sacred, something set apart. They tried to label you with limitation, but they didn't realize they were speaking against someone who was heaven-approved and spirit-backed. Every moment of pain refined you. Every betrayal carved depth into your heart that now holds oceans of wisdom. Every cold shoulder you received, every table you were uninvited from, every celebration you were left out of. Those weren't losses. They were redirections. They were confirmations. They were signs pointing to the truth. Not everyone is meant to walk beside someone chosen. You were never built to shrink to fit into their comfort zones. You were born to disrupt, to inspire, to break patterns that have held generations hostage. And that kind of calling, it doesn't come easy. It costs. It demands silence in seasons when you want to scream. It demands patience when you want to act. It demands surrender when your instinct is to fight. But look at you now, still here, still standing, still becoming. Your journey is more than a personal testimony. It's a sacred saga of transformation. You are a living scroll being written by divine hands. You are the message, the miracle, the move of God walking in the flesh. And the beauty is, they can't do anything about it. They can't explain it, contain it, or deny it. They called it ego. They called it strange. But what they didn't see is that you were being guided, shielded, prepared. You've been through what should have ended you, but it didn't. And that right there is proof. Not just that you're strong, but that you're marked, you're sealed, you're carrying a weight of glory that can't be copied, bought, or imitated. That's why they stare. That's why they talk. That's why they try to question what's already been confirmed in the courts of heaven. Let your spirit soar. Let it rise above the noise, above the rumors, above the doubt. You're not here to be validated. You're here to illuminate. You were never bound by the thinking of those who tried to put you in a box. While they were setting ceilings over your head, heaven was building wings on your back. And now, you're flying, not to prove a point, not for applause, but because your nature is to elevate, to ascend, to go where they never thought you'd go. There is a reason their efforts didn't prosper. There is a reason their silence didn't stop you. The universe backed you. The Most High walked with you. Divine strategy was working behind the scenes. And now, as your light shines, bold, bright, and unstoppable, they are left with nothing but questions they can't answer. Because your rise doesn't make sense to the natural mind. It's supernatural. It's prophetic. It's divine. You are not the same person they tried to bury. You are the bloom after the drought, the sunrise after the darkest night. You are what happens when divine timing meets relentless faith. So walk tall, speak life, pour love, and never, ever apologize for being the living proof that purpose always finds its way, no matter the opposition. Because they didn't make you, and they can't unmake you. You were formed in holy fire, and what's forged in the sacred can't be undone in the carnal. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles. Feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. This is your time, your season, your holy appointment, and nothing, absolutely nothing can block what heaven has already ordained. Remember always, what was meant to sink you has only proven that you float above the mire of human deceit. Your truth is a beacon that cannot be dimmed, and your destiny is a promise that the universe has kept since the dawn of time. Step into the light of this new beginning with confidence, for you are the chosen one, the living testament to divine purpose, and nothing in this world can ever erase the brilliant legacy you are destined to leave behind. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. They never saw it coming because they never had the vision to see what you carried. While they were busy pulling strings, you were breaking cycles. While they traded whispers, you were preparing to walk into rooms they would never be invited into. Their confusion wasn't a result of your actions, it was the natural response of darkness when true light enters the space. There was never a seat at their table carved for someone with your soul. You were always made for higher ground, for sacred spaces that require divine clearance. Your nature was too wild for their small cages, too vibrant for the gray script they wanted you to follow. You didn't lose your way, you just stepped off their map.